All right, I'm going to give just a couple of items that I have found with this Hornady Lock and Load AP Press. A couple of things that I have found that you will need to either change a setting or just kind of figure out how to live with it and what have you, how to work things with this, some of the problems. The press obviously rotates, so much of a turn when you're on your up turn and then so much on your down turn. Every now and then this piece will not completely lock into the next position. So in order to fix this, pull your handle, make your press go all the way up, and then you'll look down here and you've got these little pawl pieces right here, P-A-W-L, and there are two little metal pieces here, and they've got screws basically holding them down in there. So you've got to adjust those in order to make this spin around to the proper setting there. So if it's going up and on your upturn you're just not quite getting far enough up, you will actually adjust this one on the right. And if it's just not spinning far enough around, you need to spin a little bit farther, you actually turn this with the Allen key that was provided. You actually turn it counterclockwise very slightly. I think they say start with like 1/8 of a turn just to get it going. And then you'll come up here, and after you adjust that, you check on it. Is it falling into place exactly where it's supposed to be? Are your dies lining up? And every time is it hitting exactly right there in the middle? So I've already dialed mine in. Now on the down slopes, when you go forward and you're actually trying to seat a primer in, you'll notice sometimes it's out, it's either short or long or what have you. Typically it's going to be short, it's not typically long. But if you're noticing that when you actually come down, it's not spinning all the way around to where you can seat your primer properly, you'll come back down here to this left pawl and you'll actually unscrew that Allen screw counterclockwise again, and you just start with 1/8 of a turn or so. And what this does is there's a spring inside of here, so that allows it to come out slightly. That way this pawl can actually come out farther. What these are doing is it's spinning this piece right here, this little metal piece. I'm not sure if I can get a real good picture of that or not, but this little piece spins when those pawls come in contact with it. One pawl contacts it on the up and one pawl contacts it on the down. So just trying to give you a good example here of what's going on. Once again, this is very hard with this video to get a real good shot here, but you can see that piece right there moves each time those pawls come in contact. That's what's actually spinning your die plate around. So you can see there, each time it comes in contact, it's doing something. So the pawls barely go down. Now, that's how you adjust that to where this piece will actually set up properly and be fine. Another thing that I have found is when you try to seat a new primer and say that it doesn't seat in all the way, do not take this and just start pushing down real hard or pushing up real hard trying to make this plate spin. A lot of folks, they try to make that plate spin until it hits the ejector, and then the ejector pops it out. I've broke 2 of those little pawls down there trying to do this, so learn from my mistakes. If you get from this stage, if you go to push this forward and seat that primer and it doesn't seat properly, and you feel that when it's trying to rotate it gets stuck, immediately stop, just leave the handle wherever it's at and unscrew this very slightly, and that piece will slide right on out of there. You get it out, throw it away, discard it, fix it, however you want to do it. But don't just start cranking this handle, because that's what you're going to do to actually break those pawls. I have also messed up this piece right here on top. Basically, it does come with a spare out from the factory, which was very nice. I'm actually very impressed with getting spare parts from the factory. That was nice, but I broke it kind of right here. Once again, pretty much stemming from me forcing something, trying to make something happen. So keep that in mind. You don't want to get into a bind there. Sometimes when something goes wrong with the primer system, your tubes back in here, this might come out, so you'll have to just reseat that. This little piece down here at the bottom actually presses down, and you'll just have to reseat this rod, and all of a sudden everything's working just fine. So several little things like that to look out for. I've had some issues here with my powder drop. This twists every now and then. It'll eventually work its way loose over a bunch of shots, over a bunch of rounds. I mean, always just trying to make sure and keep that thing twisted on in there. Very minor thing. I'm not sure. I think it's just got so much weight on it that it just kind of rocked its way loose. So I do kind of keep an eye on that, make sure that stays tight. Really overall, I haven't noticed any major issues outside of these simple little pieces. I don't necessarily say that this is a problem with Hornady items. It's just something to be aware of. Those are very small, delicate pieces, and when you start cranking down on that handle, these guys will snap off quick as the world. So I did, however, call Hornady. They were very good. They shipped me a replacement one of those. They also shipped me another replacement, one of these little black guys up top. So Hornady is very good with their warranty stuff, but I'm just kind of pointing out a few little things here and there that I've noticed over the course of just getting started with this press to get things moving forward. The spring here, I've seen a lot of people talk about this spring gets mangled from time to time. It's a good extra part to have. You do get at least 2 of those spare when you buy the press. I haven't had any issues out of it yet. Mine have been perfect. You do want to make sure that it gets seated down inside of that track right there. All you do is just place your finger down right there while you're actually cranking this along, and you just make sure that it stays down inside of that seat ramp. Really that's about it. I just wanted to point out a couple of my problem areas that I've noticed here and there, stuff going on. I have had a couple of minor little issues with feeding the primer tube right here coming down. Something gets called up every now and then, so I have noticed that. Also, let me see if I can spin this around. I'm trying to get a good angle here to show you something else that I had to do. But the primer feeding system, when it comes back like this, this rod right here, that comes back, and then obviously when you go on your downstroke, it goes back in, so you can see it in and out, in and out. Mine was getting caught up a little bit at the very beginning, and it would actually hang up back there at the back. I actually read a couple of articles and what have you, took this piece off and actually used very fine grit sandpaper and sanded down some of the edges, made them a little finer, a little smoother, put some of the Hornady one shot on it, and haven't had a lick of problem since. So it actually needed just a little bit of sanding on there to make that piece function properly now, and I haven't had a lick of problem since. So sorry once again for dragging on. I'm just trying to let you see some of my issues that I've had and how I've corrected some of those. If you have any questions or comments, please post those in the section below. Otherwise, take care. Hope you have a great day.